What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Apocalypse Movies. Jacob here. This is Keith, and we are here to talk Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the new animated film from Sony, and it stars the character of Miles Morales. The first time we're seeing him on the big screen, where he's the main focus and he's the main character, and a lot of Spider-Man fans have been clamoring for him to even be in live action. I'm still Peter Parker guy. Peter Parker is Spider-Man, but I've always been interested in Miles Morales. I've wanted to see him on this big screen. I really enjoyed the film. You enjoyed it, but maybe not as much as me.
Yeah, I think that's all right.
How would you define your like excitement for this movie?
I think it's really very good. Very good. I just wasn't as blown away by it as I was hoping. That's probably my own fault, because everyone's been raving about it so much, like online. And
I tried my hardest to stay away from
I didn't. I should
reviews, but the thing is, the trailer's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. How do you can't avoid that?
And
you can't avoid that.
Yeah, people were saying it's the best comic book movie of the year. I saw multiple people say that, and I was like, really? In a year with Black Panther and Infinity War and Deadpool 2.
I understand why people would feel that way, though. But in my opinion,
I get it. I see it. It's great. I'm not knocking it all. I love the movie. I really had a good time. It's really funny. I enjoyed how funny it was.
Absolutely,
and I loved all the best part for me were all the references and the Easter eggs. That was the best stuff. But and it had a lot of heart. I love the story. I love the stuff with the family. The voice acting is incredible.
It really is. Yeah,
some of the best animation I've ever seen.
Very
it was really
unique
great.
Style.
I really enjoyed it.
So for me, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, so I was very much looking forward to this. But I was kind of still like, oh, it's an animated film. Not that anything's wrong with animated, but I was like, it's so weird that they're making an animated Spider-Man movie when you have a live action one going.
Yeah,
and I was just like, I thought I was gonna enjoy it, but I didn't know what I was in for. Because the only thing I saw was like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, okay, it's early. Sometimes these scores change, and it has changed. It's not 100% anymore.
It's like 98 or something.
It's very high, but
still gonna...
I was like, okay, it's probably really early. Maybe only the people who were looking forward to it went to go see it, so let's give it time. I didn't really listen to any reviews, so I was like, but I was blown away, honestly. I could not... The first 30 minutes of the movie, I was like, the setup was amazing. I was like, this is crazy. And for me, the reason why it's so good is the way they set up the character of Miles Morales and his relationship with his family, with his relationship with his father and relationship with his uncle, and then the way how that story lived within this comic book movie of this crazy Spider-Man world where there's like unlimited dimensions and all this stuff. Like it's just crazy, and it's something like I don't think we'll ever get this much craziness in maybe a live action superhero movie.
I don't think so.
There's like, can you imagine how much money it would cost to make this live action? It'd be crazy, but it works perfect in animation. And the thing is, with a lot of animated films, they choose style over substance. They use the visuals and the action and the explosions and all that stuff, and that's important in animated films. But in this movie, there's an equal balance for me. Best thing to me is probably the relationship between Miles and his uncle, and I don't want to get into too much depth about that for those who don't know the history of that character. But
Marshall Ali, which I didn't.
The voice cast is amazing. But just the way they set that up and the scene in his apartment, like at the beginning, and how it just plays into the whole movie, amazing, and it's just all around a huge hit for me. To be honest.
Totally agree.
So what were some of the flaws that made you not think it was as great as everybody else is saying?
You know what? I say that it's not really... I don't know if necessarily just flaws.
I see what you're saying, because people are saying it's one of the best movies of the year, so you're like, your expectations are like, whoa, through the roof, and then you just come out and you're like, it's really good, but not best movie of the year. And I don't think it is either,
the one
honestly.
thing that I think that really kind of stuck out as something that was actually bothering me was the design of Kingpin.
Yeah,
that was a little off.
I didn't like it.
I didn't like that. Yeah, it was weird, kind of weird, kind of. See,
like his back went higher in his head, and his head was like in his chest. It was weird. Yeah, but that doesn't really affect the quality of the film. Exactly. Yeah,
and he was great. Kingpin was who's the voices?
Oh, it's Lee Schreiber.
Lee Schreiber, which was awesome. Yeah, so that's really
I don't want to get into spoilers, but there's some things there I was like, really? Okay, interesting. Revolving the Kingpin character.
Exactly. I know what you mean. Yeah, exactly. And I really loved the Gwen Stacy character. Was Haley Steinfeld.
She was great.
Was excellent.
That was one of the most standout characters in the movie.
Yeah.
Really.
I really enjoyed that. I liked her outfit, and I liked all the Spider-Man characters and Spider people.
This movie is dark for an animated kids film. There are dark moments, and also I love what they did with Peter B. Parker, the Spider-Man that comes in and from the other dimension. The Jake Johnson voiced one. I loved what they did with that Spider-Man because he's like 30 or so.
He's in his 30s. He's
and
still a seasoned Spider-Man.
He's still Spider-Man. Like he can still whoop butt and he still saves the world. But he's kind of just lazy and sad and
a little jaded.
He gets a little gut, and I loved that. And it just shows to me because we see these superheroes, and even as they get older and stuff like that, they're just perfect beings, like they're physical specimens and perfect beings. And even though he has spider powers, he's still just depressed and gaining weight because he's just eating pizza. And there's some hilarious moments in this movie that maybe we'll talk about more in the spoiler review.
I can't wait to
I love humor to where like there's something going on, whether it's conversation or action, and the character says something and like you're not supposed to catch it and you miss it and you're like, wait, did he really just say that? And I'm like, what? And then I start cracking up because I realized what he just said. There's a few of those moments, and we'll talk more about that in the spoiler review. But overall, like I can't believe how much of a success and hit this movie is.
Yeah, it's really good. I was curious.
Based on remember a year ago when they announced it? We were not. I was like, we were like, why are they doing that? So
right in the middle of a live action version that's been successful with. Now that's another thing I'll say. People are like, well, this is the best Spider-Man. Look, I'm not gonna. In terms of Spider-Man movies, I think it's up there. I will say I still
you haven't loved all the Spider-Man movies though, but you probably like Homecoming.
I love Homecoming. That's number one. I'll say this. I would rank this. I might rank this after Homecoming as my number 2 though.
I would not doubt you on that. I mean, the only other one I would say is Spider-Man 2. The Doc Ock.
Probably the top 3. Those are the 3 top.
I don't remember those movies other than maybe Spider-Man 2 having this much of a critical rate. Even Homecoming didn't get this much critical praise. It didn't.
I don't think it did.
But I think just for us, we enjoy it more, and I do. And plus, Peter Parker as a kid, like that's my Spider-Man. But this movie is, no flaws for this movie. Like this movie did everything right, and it's like, other than a few tiny nitpicks here and there, there's really no major flaws in it. It's just a very quality film all the way through.
The villains are all great. You get all the pretty much all the villains, all the Spider-Man.
And it's cool because
Rogues Gallery.
And I don't think this is a spoiler because this Miles Morales doesn't exist in like the regular world that we've known Peter Parker to live in. So when you see characters in the Spider-Man lore, they're different because they're not from the regular Spider-Man lore. The way they handle certain cameos that pop up and stuff like that. They're like you've kind of never seen them before, at least on screen.
Different versions.
Yeah,
of them
exactly.
It's an Elseworlds situation.
Exactly.
I know that's more of a DC thing to say Elseworlds,
but it is. Yeah,
it's what it is.
And for me, I just realized this, but look at Sony and their Spider-Man properties. Venom, huge. Not critically, major financial success. That's a win for Sony because of how much money it's made.
Made a lot of movie worldwide.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse getting reviews as one of the best movies of the year, and it's gonna make a decent amount of money. And just Tom Holland and that Spider-Man doing well in the MCU. The Spider-Man property is doing probably better than it ever has in film right now.
For now, until.
For sure.
We'll talk about that later.
Nope. Tom Holland's gonna be the MCU forever. Don't say it. Don't say it. All right. Well, basically, no major flaws for us. Definitely some things we'll get into more depth on in the spoilers discussion, which we'll put out later this week, later in a couple days. But that'll do it. I mean, there's not much more to talk about. This movie's awesome.
It's great. Yeah, definitely. Go see it as soon as you can. It's really good.
For me, what it does for me and what I think it's going to do for our film fans is it puts Miles Morales on the map.
Yes.
Before, there was a question. Nobody cares about Miles Morales. Nobody wants to see Miles Morales on screen. Like general audience going members.
They just don't know who he is.
And now they're going to know who he is. For me, I think it opens the door for a possibility of a live-action Miles Morales in the future. I'm not saying a Miles Morales-led live-action film, but I think that character...
Well, that will come.
But I think in 10 years, when Tom Holland is like 32, and he's like grown man Peter Parker,
I think
you introduce Miles Morales. Yeah. I think you can totally do that.
I think we'll see him sooner.
Awesome. Well, we'll talk more about that in our spoiler discussion. Thanks for joining me, Keith. Let us know in the comments section what you thought of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Do you think it's best movie of the year material, or do you think it's just pretty good, or did you hate it? Let us know in the comment section. I am Jacob. We are Apocalypse Movies. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys next time.